Many of the World War I battles you're going to read about take place around Belgium and France, an area that would later be known as the Western Front. The Eastern Front formed along the border between Russia and Germany. When the war broke out, most people thought the fighting wouldn't last long. In August 1914, as German troops burst into Belgium, Kaiser Wilhelm II, Germany's leader, assured his soldiers, quote, "You will be home before the leaves have fallen from the trees," end quote. The Kaiser was wrong. World War I lasted 4 long years, killing about 10 million military personnel and 7 million civilians. The war's casualties, meaning the wounded, were even higher, about 37 million people total. These almost unbelievable numbers reveal why World War I would later be called the Great War. Not because it was so good, but because its losses were so big. How did all of it happen? Let's find out. Chapter 1. Battle of Mons, August 23rd, 1914. When German military forces invaded Belgium in August 1914, their plan was to storm across that country into its neighbor, France. From there, the German army would seize control of France's most famous city, Paris, giving it vast control over important parts of Europe. To combat the German plan, the French Army and the British Expeditionary Force, or BEF, set up defensive positions along the border between France and Belgium. This area would later become an important part of the Western Front. The Allies wanted to halt the German invasion at the Belgian border, then drive the enemy all the way back into Germany. If this Allied plan had succeeded, World War I might have ended right there. Instead, during this first month of the war, both sides witnessed the new and devastating power of modern weapons and warfare. Machine guns, artillery, airplanes, chemical gas, tanks. These inventions were going to make World War I different, and much more deadly, than any war that came before it. Although there were skirmishes during this first month, World War I's first major clash was the Battle of Mons. Mons is a Belgian mining town with a nearby canal. This waterway would be really helpful for moving soldiers and supplies around the area. That's why both sides wanted control over Mons and its waterway. On August 21st, the British Expeditionary Force, or BEF, was setting up positions to protect the French army that was already in the area. The BEF also sent out a cavalry unit, soldiers on horseback, who rode ahead of the Allied position to scout for Germans. The cavalry hoped to set up an ambush and flush any enemies from the area. An ambush is a trap, usually involving soldiers hiding behind camouflage, such as trees, bushes, and buildings, before pouncing on the enemy in a surprise attack. However, a German cavalry unit spotted the British cavalry, ruining any chance of an ambush. The German soldiers galloped away, but the British soldiers chased them, swords flashing, lances raised, rifles firing. British Second Lieutenant Roger Chance would say, quote, "The enemy fire was hellish. We galloped along a black coal dust that blew around us in dark clouds. We could not see a yard in front of us. My horse Spitfire jumped over 2 dead horses just in time. Bullets and shells seemed to be everywhere. When we reached a building to shelter, only 10 members of my troops were left. I had been struck by a bullet on my metal collar badge, but had not noticed it." End quote.